So guys, I finally got my hands on a Ryzen 7 1700. Is this processor worth buying, yes or no? Well, we're going to find out today with the help of my cat Harvey. So, this processor is a 8-core 16-thread processor, and it's one of the newer AMD Ryzens. Well, not new, I should say, but in terms of an upgrade, it was definitely overdue. I was in such need of a new processor. I've been looking online, and Harvey's just looking at me right now thinking, you spent 360 quid on a new processor, how does it perform? And as you can see, it's not in the box. Bit worrying, but nah, I'm just kidding. I've already put it in the PC, I'll show you that in a bit. But yeah, is this processor worth buying? Let's have a look at it in the case, shall we? So here it is in the case. I'm using the stock fan here. But yeah, the question is this processor worth buying? Now, I'm going to get to that in a bit, but I'm going to show you guys some gaming benchmarks, because editing and that, I don't think you guys will be much interested in that. But here are the specs here. So I've got the Ryzen 7 1700, and then the motherboard was the Asus Prime B350 Plus, and my RAM is just 16GB of Vengeance DDR4 RAM, 2 sticks of them, so 8 times 2. 2 sticks of 8. I will be upgrading to 32 gigs soon, but I just started off with 16 gig just to see how things would go. But yeah, the main question you're thinking, is this worth buying? Should I upgrade to this processor if I need a new processor? Well, I'll answer at the end, but now let's get to some benchmarking. So I started off here with Ghost Recon Wildlands. Wildlands is a weird one. It's not the best optimized game, but at the same time it is optimized. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense. But I'll be showing you guys the minimum, the max, and the average frame rate I got for every single game I played. Now, in terms of the graphics presets, I set Wildlands to medium high-ish. I didn't go ultra. I did try it on ultra, but it was averaging at around 50 frames, 40 frames. But so a high sort of medium settings is what I went for, and it averaged quite well. My second game is Doom. Now, this is a lot more helpful for you guys, because on the top right, I've got all the performance metrics for you guys. Wait a second. Sorry, I love the music so much in this game. Even to the point where I'm going to let you guys watch some gameplay in a bit. But Doom ran superior. It was so well. It's so smooth. All the settings on ultra. Obviously some stuff turned to low, like motion blur and a few other like graphics options that weren't needed, but you can see now the game looks very nice. And if the video looks a bit pixelated at times, I do apologize. I'm still getting used to my OBS settings, but yeah, I showed you there the max FPS I got was around the 100s, and it just stayed around 90 most of the time. So Doom ran really well, and yeah, just sit back and relax and enjoy some gameplay. Right, so next up we got GTA 5. GTA 5 surprised me massively. When I was roaming the open world, just in single player, I was staying at around 70 frames pretty much, and this is on everything on very high. Like, once again, a few things turned down just to my personal preference, so a lot of the stuff was, I'd say it was high to ultra settings, around that area. For example, I'm just changing a few of the things like the long shadows. Like, some of the advanced graphics options you don't really need. But what I did do to test the capability was pick a mission where there's a lot going on, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of explosions. So I picked the Polito base score job, and as you can see here, the minimum frames I got was, even though when it dropped below 60 like here, the minimum was 49, it did drop sometimes to 40, but I didn't notice it. I was just loving the game, and it was just staying around 60 a lot of the time, which, A, the game looks beautiful, and B, it runs superior, really well. And that kind of shocked me, because, yeah, the game is quite well optimized itself. I mean, it never used to be. But, yeah, it was just kind of a surprise. So GTA 5 was a big shock for me. Alright, we're now moving on to Destiny 2. Now, Destiny 2 is another weird one. Like I said before, I haven't really sorted out my OBS settings 100%. I've been testing it for a week now. All the settings are on high, and it performed very well. It performed very, very, very well on high settings, high to ultra. As you can see here, it averaged around 70 frames minimum. It dropped to about 40 sometimes, but the game modes that did kind of drop, even when I wasn't recording, I have tested these games out, by the way, when I haven't been recording, like GTA, like Doom, you know, and they would have a bit of an FPS boost. So whenever I'm using OBS, the frames would drop just a tad, but with Destiny 2, the only time it dropped frames was when I was playing PvP missions like Gambit or Crucible. Crucible wasn't actually bad. Crucible stayed above 60 most of the time. But when it came to, was it Gambit? Gambit's where things got really more intense, and I'm going to show you some Gambit gameplay now. You see a lot of stuff's going on in the background. There's enemies spawning in everywhere. I'm using my ultimate, my teammates are using their ultimates. Invasions are happening. Just loads of stuff's happening at the moment, so like the frames do tend to drop. But it didn't take away from the overall experience. Like I said, it did smoothen out quite a bit. The footage doesn't really make up for it, but a lot of the gameplay you're seeing was just simply just so smooth to play, and I didn't really find myself looking up on the top right that much, you know, looking, checking my frames. So, Destiny 2 was very fun to play. Good game to benchmark. Now, last but not least, we got Overwatch. Overwatch set on ultra settings, as you can see. I mean, I have most of it on high, actually, but there is an epic quality settings, but it's pointless. I just put it to ultra and high. So, yeah, Overwatch ran really well. The reason I wanted to test Overwatch was because, once again, like Destiny, lots of stuff happens in this game, so it puts a lot of pressure on both your GPU and your CPU. But yeah, it handled it quite well. The Ryzen handled it very well, and it allowed me to humiliate the Sombra, so pretty cool. So at that point in the video, should you buy an AMD Ryzen 1700? If you're someone like me, who does multiple workloads, if you do gaming, if you do video editing, maybe you do music production, maybe you do like digital art, for example, if you're an artist, I say definitely yes. But if you're someone who's strictly gaming, you want a gaming rig, I say go with Intel or a more powerful Ryzen. But Ryzens are the processors that are known for their multiple workload and their thread speed. So I would definitely recommend you go for a Ryzen if you are into video editing, or if you're a YouTuber, or if you like, you know, just like digital art, like I said before, or music production. So that's the long answer, pretty much, or the short answer is yes and no. So if you want to go strictly into gaming, I'd say go with another processor, or if you're someone like me who does a lot of things like editing or whatnot, then I say definitely go for a Ryzen. So that's the video, guys. That is my setup, pretty much. That is my Ryzen 7 review. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and so yeah, that was it for me, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.